I made the decision to turn off my son's life support. I recently lost my son, Zayas Wolf, who was 5 years old, in January to an incurable brain tumour. He passed away 3 weeks after the tumour was detected. So it was a very quick kind of transition from him running around in school to him then no longer being here. So when Zayas initially went in for his first surgery, which was to get a biopsy, when he came out of that first surgery, he went unresponsive the early hours of the following morning. The second emergency surgery, when he went unresponsive, he had to get a bone flap. Now, if you don't know what a bone flap is, a bone flap is it's about that big of his skull cut out because of the pressure that was in his brain. He also now had a bleed on his brain that had caused damage in his brainstem. Now, your brainstem helps function things like your breathing, your swallowing, a lot of your very main functions. So if that's damaged, you don't have a very high quality of life. What they knew from the biopsy was that because of the type of tumour, but also the condition that he was in intensive care, his body wouldn't have been able to respond well to chemotherapy or to radiotherapy. But we then later found out that those options just weren't available anyway because of the mutations he had in his tumour. But then we also had the part of, even if he would have survived the tumour, which wasn't going to happen, but theoretically, if he could have survived the tumour, then we had the issue of the brain damage, which would have meant that he never would have been able to breathe on his own, walk on his own, talk. So they said to us, we could either wait it out or we could decide to put him on end-of-life care, which is essentially turning off his oxygen and letting him pass away in peace. There was no reality where I wanted to see my son suffer. So the next day, I've gone to sleep in the hospital accommodation, and then I was woke up out of my sleep to a phone call from the hospital saying his heart rate's going down and we've done everything we can to try and stabilize it. We need you to come in. I looked at him and I just said to the nurses, we can take it out now. And they were like, are you sure? Like I said, if he wants to go now, let him go now. Like, it's selfish of me to keep him here longer than what he wants to be here for. So called the family and we did like a whole little ceremony. We prayed, we did everything as beautiful as we could. Now, we were under the belief that he would have passed away very quickly. To our astoundment, he breathed on his own for 2 days. He then passed away. If you would have asked me prior, what would I do if I was in a position where I had to turn off someone's life support, I would have been like, I want to keep them alive. In that position, undoubtedly, I was like, whatever means that my baby doesn't suffer. But if I keep him alive, is that for him or is that for me? Is that because I don't want to let go of him, which is ultimately causing him more suffering? I have to be the one that allows myself to set him free in that situation.
I am seen. Are you?